What is going on, people? Welcome back into the channel. I hope you are enjoying your week. I hope you are able to bridge the gap properly from the last game to the next game of the championship season. What are we going to do today? I don't know, man. I've been sitting at my computer. I am so lost without football. I'm thinking about starting gambling. I don't even know how to pass the time, but I did come up with something, as you can see if you clicked on this video. Today, we are bringing back one of my favorite series on my YouTube channel. I believe this is the third time we did it. We did it during the last international break to bridge the gap. We're going to do it again. It is Fire and Ice Player Picks Coventry City Edition. Now, if you are new here and you don't know what that is, I'll explain it for you. It's very, very simple. There's going to be 2 players in the Fire section. There's going to be 2 players in the Ice section. The Fire players, think about it, guys. Fire, keep burning. Players that I want to keep seeing be great, keep burning, keep elevating, and just continue to be awesome. On the flip side, put the sad music in. I know. Players that I know can be doing better than what they have done. And you know what, guys? This is a tough thing to do. It might be a little nitpicky, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be players that I know deep down have potential because I've seen it. I've seen highlights of it. I've seen it live in action. I want to see players do better, and I want them to get to the Fire so that the next international break, they are the ones in the Fire section. With that being said, if you do not know who I am Joner Fat Cat. I make EFL Championship, Coventry City, and general football content, and apparently I now gamble too. If you are new, please subscribe. Get down in the comments. Let me know who you think would have been your Fire and Ice. 2 picks on either side. And if you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. I'm going to come with some stats. Let me know if you care about these stats. Let me know if you don't. But as always, please like the video. It helps push it to more people. And yeah, let's do it. Be honest, guys. Does it look mad spooky in here? No? Okay. Well, we're going to start with the cold. We're going to start with the sad, sad cold because then we're going to end it on a positive note, okay? And it pains me to do this because, guys, literally look at my background. I'll put a screenshot of it in right now. The first Ice player of the video is going to be no one other than our right winger, Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. Now, we all know and love Sakamoto. He's a class act on and off the pitch. He's just a wholesome guy. Since he came to Cov a couple years back, he's played very, very consistently. Last year, he only missed 2 games the entire year. Never was one to get a crazy amount of goals and assists, but I am going to call him out this year and say I want to see more from him because I know the potential that he has, and I think he's playing a little bit too far back down the pitch. We have such a good defense this season. I think that he should start focusing on staying farther up the pitch, and he should try to get more goal contributions. And that's not just me coming in here and saying, oh, he only has 1 goal on the year. Let me give you a couple stats that are a little bit eye-opening to me. And by the way, you obviously can see it right here, but Sax has played 7 matches, and he started 6 of them. He's played a decent amount of minutes. We're going to come back here for now instead of staying on the green screen. Why? Because we're bringing back Joner's Book of Joy. You know it's either a great or a poor thing if I'm whipping out the notebook for you. So, Sakamoto, let's start with the bad. Let's then switch to some good, and let's see where we could go from there. He has 1 goal-creating action this entire season, so that essentially is a pass or a shot or a foul or anything that leads up directly to a goal being scored. That's good for number 12 on the team. Now listen, that is very subjective because he could be very unlucky on the end of his final ball. Do you guys not remember against Oxford? He had a 10-minute cameo. He came on. He absolutely destroyed a defender, put a ball into Haji. Haji aired it. That was unlucky, right? So let's take a step back from there. How about we look at shot-creating actions? If you saw my video about who Coventry's best player of the season was, we talked about shot-creating actions. I would let babysit my cat. Bro has completed 590 passes. That's 200 more than the next best person. He is the battery to the light switch. He is the arrow to the dart. He is the grass to Kane Kessler Hayden's backflip. There is no other way to describe this man. He is probably our player of the season so far. Matt Grimes and Victor Torp set at the top with about 72 of them combined between the two. Sox this season has 12 of them. That's good for number 10. I don't know if that is good enough for a winger. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Sox offers more than just an Efron Mason Clark attacking threat. He plays defense as well. That is definitely the strongest part of his game. His work rate, his ability to track back, and then also provide, serviceable balls on the attack. So let's look at some of his defensive stats, and then you make the decision if you think that those things even out. So he really ranks like middle to upper on all sort of defensive statistics, such as blocks, interceptions, things like that. So definitely higher than you'd expect an attacker to be sitting. But the one that really stuck out to me is that he has the 4th most tackles on the team. Now that's above Bobby Thomas, and that's tied with Liam Kitching. So there's no question this guy puts in a shift on defense. We can look at his average position. He definitely sits pretty far back back down the pitch. I think we all know that. We don't even need to see that. So the question is, do you care about him getting back on defense and helping out Milan, helping out Grimes, Bobby Thomas, whoever's down that right wing? Or do you want Sox to push up further? In my opinion, I know he has the potential to do either, and both work. But I think right now, with the way that we're able to hold possession, the way that our defensive line has just been so stagnant and strong back there, I think it's time for him to start pushing further up the pitch. And I think it's time for him to get more involved in the attack than he already is, because I know that he can be an integral part to the team going forward for the rest of the season. And the last thing I want to look at is just his average position. So you can see that Sakamoto's profile right here. So he actually is more heavily on the attack than not, but he does have a decent amount of yellow and orange zones back here. The guy really does go all over the pitch. But then just compare it to EMC. So then if we just go and we compare it to EMC, so he has red areas inside the penalty spot. We know he is an absolute mastermind at taking on defenders from outside the box in from the wing. But you can just see, like, it's very obvious that EMC plays a lot higher up the pitch. And does he have worse defensive stats than Tatsuhiro? Of course he does. But it's really just coming down to what you prefer in a winger. I want to see more from Sakamoto. I know that he'll provide more. So hopefully in a month from now, he will be on the flip side of this. Ice player number 2, and you're probably thinking this is a cop-out, but honestly, guys, look at the season we're having so far. Who on the pitch could you genuinely say is not doing enough? So you know what? I'm going to go with Jack Redoni here. Not because he's injured, just because I know that when he comes back, this guy is going to be eager to get in on the fun that we have been having this season. So we lost Redoni for a couple of games. He'll probably be back after the international break, but genuinely there's no real reason to rush him in there. But let's see. 6 games, 6 starts, 2 goals, 1 assist. By Jack Redoni standards, that's not good enough. Jack Redoni probably expects himself to get on the goal sheet every single game. The way he finished last season, I know he is on the bench. Watering mouth. Mouth is watering like he just saw a juicy steak, 4 fajitas, all that. Go past him at a restaurant. This guy wants to get involved in the action so badly. There are some crazy good stats that even with missed games, he sits at the top for. Let's take a look at them. So you can see him highlighted there. In just 6 games, look who's above him. Grimes and Torp with 9 games and 7 games. He has 28 shot creating action. This guy is creating chances for his teammates. Maybe they have not translated to assists, but creation of shots is there. Bang. Another number 1 for him. Progressive carries. He has 34 progressive carries. Just a quick reminder, if you don't know, progressive carries is when you carry the ball towards the opponent goal line at least 10 yards from his furthest point in the last 6 passes, or directly into penalty area. Obviously, with that second part, EMC is going to creep his way up, but Redoni still clears him by a country mile with 34. He's also received the most progressive passes by far, 62. EMC is also there with 53. So Redoni really is dominating in a lot of the dribbling and on-the-ball statistics. The way that this man was dribbling in, QPR game, albeit it was a blowout, the Oxford game, all just up until he was on the way out with the injury, he was just oozing confidence. So when he comes back, I want to see him hit the ground running. Whether that be us running up the score and getting him a goal, or him being directly involved in goals, giving him a penalty, whatever it is, get him up and running, because the fact that, our best player isn't even at his top peak performance yet, we also have been without him. That is just a dangerous thing for the other teams. So Jack, very excited for you to be back, my friend. Well, we will see you soon. All right, let's have some fun. Now we switch over from the sad to the happy, from the ice to the fire, the first fire player. And there's no one else that I would rather put here, because some are saying that I stiffed him in the player of the season video. I did say earlier this week after the Millwall game that Milan has probably been our 3rd best player of the season. He had an argument, for sure. The reason I didn't choose Milan,
A few minutes later.
honestly, guys, I stopped the video for a second to try and think why I didn't choose him. There really is nothing for me to not say that I chose Milan, because he genuinely also deserves it. Maybe I was just trying to go with maybe some people that weren't getting as much love. Milan van Ewijk, the Dutch right back, the absolute lad legend he is. What a season he is having. I said it myself. I said he's probably been one of the best players in the championship this entire year. From the right back position, he has 5 assists in 9 matches. He hasn't even played all the minutes of every match. He's been pulled a decent amount of times for Kane Kessler-Hayden, because you know what? He put in his service. He did not have to do any more work. If you guys remember, he had the pass to the assist for the Haji Wright goal against Oxford in extra time. He made a booming run down the right wing. And honestly, that's just a recurring topic for Milan van Ewijk this season. He is just always up and down that right wing, just striking fear into the defenders, into the midfielders, commanding defenders, pulling defenders towards him, beating players on the dribble, putting balls into the box, getting assists. He has not scored a goal yet. That will come. I've seen him score some bangers in the past. I reacted to his goal against Leicester City, I believe, in extra time or very close to extra time. They gave us the lead. That was awesome. And he just adds an entire new dynamic for other teams to worry about. You can look at his heat map. This is absolutely ridiculous, his heat map. This is a right back. This looks like Sakamoto's heat map, other than the fact that he does have a bit more red on our side of the pitch, rightfully so. I mean, it almost looks like this guy hasn't had to defend all year. You know, that does kind of spark a little bit of a debate in my head compared to the Sakamoto thing. Maybe because Sakamoto does sit back, it allows Milan to get freed up, but nevertheless, there's no question when Milan, Jack Radoni, and Sakamoto are all firing down that right side, the overload is just not possible for anyone in the world to defend unless you're freaking Rio Ferdinand combined with, like, Bobby Thomas, maybe. It's kind of funny that the three players I just referenced all have been in this video so far, so that actually is the perfect segue into our final player, the final fire player of the episode. It is no one other than someone I just mentioned. It is Rio Ferdinand. I'm just kidding. It's Bobby Thomas.
So we're going to start on the ice portion. These are players that, like I said, I want to see more from in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start with, I think we could all guess it if you've seen any Coventry matches this season, it is the defense. First name on the list is Bobby Thomas.
Now talk about character development. This is like a movie character from the beginning to the end, turning from the villain to the hero. Bobby Thomas, before the last international break, right when Wolfenden came in, people were calling for him to be dropped out of the squad. He was making mental mistakes. He was out of position. He was just not mentally where we knew that he needed to be. Ever since then, natural pressure of another center back being brought in lit a fire under his ass. I don't know what they're doing in that damn locker room, in the tactic room, but he has completely flipped the season on its head. Coming into the season, Bobby Thomas was probably the preferred center back over Kitching. It sort of flipped, but now I really don't know. You could probably say that Bobby has ascended back to where we expected him to be. He is sitting near the top in nearly all of our defensive statistics. I think that's self-explanatory. He's played every single game, obviously. I'll give you a couple just for shits and gigs. So Bobby has the most blocks on the team with 13. He has the most shots blocked with 6. He has 52 clearances, which is good for second on the squad. He's won the most aerial duels on the team with 33, which actually puts him at number 1 other than Carl Rushworth, who has won 1 and lost 0. I don't remember that. I don't want to remember that. I'm sure that was absolute nightmare fuel. So the proof is in the pudding there, and also the eye test is just there. Bobby Thomas made a couple bonehead errors that led to free kicks, that led to goals earlier in the season. Things that, you know, just made it seem like they weren't all there, but he has completely flipped that on its head. He has been so good on that back line. We've had 4 clean sheets in a row, if I'm remembering correctly. I know it was at least 3. Do not quote me on the 4th, please, but I do know that Carl Rushworth and the Coventry City defense have the most clean sheets in the entire championship. So there's a reason for that. Everyone on the back line has been amazing. I could put any of the back line, even Carl Rushworth, who was a 2-time ice player in the first 2 episodes, which, sorry, Carl, public apology issue to you. They have all been so good, but I just wanted to highlight Bobby and just really shout him out because he really has improved probably tenfold compared to everyone else, because everyone else was at a high standard from the beginning. Maybe you can make the argument that Rushworth was a little shaky in the beginning, but also not his fault from the poor set pieces conceded. So Bobby Thomas, keep bossing up and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting in the lab, keep working out, keep getting the mental right, and do everything that you can to keep Wolfenden out of the squad, because you know what? It's elevating the team. Look at the results. Look at the table. Look at the clean sheets. Look at everything. So Bobby Thomas, great job. Everyone, really great job. The team is in such a good spot. How could I sit here and say anything bad about the team, even though I technically just did? Sorry, Sakamoto. Watch. Sakamoto hat trick. Now that I'm a gambling man, hat trick for Sakamoto next game. Generational wealth. I'm going to buy Coventry and we'll be set for life. I'm just going to bring in everyone. I'll bring in Neymar. I'll bring in Ronaldinho. We'll be set. So thank you guys if you made it to the end. I'll be back this weekend. This weekend it's going to be a little bit of a more general championship video. And then I'm thinking about cooking up something cool on Friday night. Don't quote me on that though. If you care about what it is, let me know in the comments. Drop the word banana if you care and I'll let you know. All right. Peace. Please subscribe. Close it in on 1,000.